It seems to me that part 6 of this volume's Prepub was the climax of the entire volume. After being dragged through the shrine tour and emotionally manipulated by the royals in the first part of the volume, Rosamind's finally got her moment of comeuppance when she turned on merchant mode and sent Sigiswald running for the hills. Figuratively speaking, of course. However, Prepub Part 7 was not without its highlights. There were 3 major incidents worth noting. First, Sylvester reveals the conditions they were able to secure. Next is a dedication ceremony with the adult nobles, and finally we get a glimpse of the dangers in the heart of steel chair gremlin Hildebrand. After another round of negotiations with the royals, Sylvester returns, angry at Rosamind for having been so rude to Sigiswald. Right from the get-go, Rosamind's estimation of her future husband, which hadn't been particularly high to begin with, started to dip. Turns out Sigiswald also reported that Rosamind had threatened him in order to secure Ferdinand's safety. The most hilarious thing about it is that Sylvester had been firm in her defense, saying that Rosamind would never. But she admits that, oh yes, she would, and in fact, did. The royals said that they would get errands back to give Ferdinand a hidden room and more or less accepted all the other demands. But to her horror, the terms did not include a new bookroom. Again, her estimation for Sigiswald took yet another massive nosedive when Sylvester reveals that Sigiswald will be unable to give her a library like the one that Ferdinand gave her, which was the one thing she asked for herself and that she desired the most. Rosamind now sees Sigiswald, a royal, as a downgrade compared to marrying Wilfrid. It was hilarious and sad at the same time. Hilarious because this was a masterful stroke of negotiating. Just by tacking on something impossibly ridiculous to the demands, the royals accepted everything else so long as that unreasonable demand was taken off. Something to note here is that Torokal seems to be just so over this whole kingship business and wants to dump his burden on someone through the most expedient means possible. He is of the opinion that Rosamind, or whoever has a Guter's hide, should have the crown and have absolute authority to rule as they see fit, going so far as to chew out Anastasius for saying that Rosamind was nothing but a menace to their society and that they should hide her Zent status and confine her to a library, maybe even return her to Aeronfest after she comes of age. Anastasius has finally understood the assignment, proposing a solution that actually doesn't sound quite as bad, but it is too late, I'm afraid, because he is barred from directly approaching her. The dedication ceremony takes place with all the gathered adult nobles from the duchies. We don't see the Pillar of Light, but we do see the chalice from the Royal Academy Temple, giving off some beautiful but very strange lights. Rosamind takes that chance to teach the nobles a prayer to regenerate their collection grounds, while she sneakily pours in more mana on the chalices as they didn't manage to gather enough. This makes the chalice glow green, and everybody present is surprised at seeing this new phenomenon. Whoopsies! Finally, we get the epilogue. Every time we have a Hildebrand point of view, I shake in my boots. Trouble is brewing in this little gremlin's head, and while he is still a baby, when it comes to Rosamind, he is an every Galibe in the making. Magdalena has been keeping an eye on her son for a reason. Hildebrand flat out states his wishes, which include going against the king's orders, only for Magdalena to cut off all his hopes of ever getting them. Frustrated, he pours out one of his biggest frustrations, his inability to get a stab as soon as possible, to, of course, Raublut, who always lends an understanding ear. The man suggests that he continue to work hard toward his goal anyway. He will talk to his father to help convince him when he deems it right. Also, we get a few interesting tidbits about Raublut and his past, and what exactly does Schlaftraum Flower mean to him? One final thing that I would like to address is Magdalena herself and her opinion of Ferdinand. She had nothing but the harshest words to say regarding Rosamind's mentor, and that irked some of us, honestly. I will admit in joke I have said things about Magdalena because how dare she? But let's be real. A teen Ferdinand who repeatedly caused chaos and destruction in the Royal Academy. Someone like that is bound to come across as a psycho to some of his peers. Inhuman, cold, calculating, scary. While I wish Magdalena would see the light and see Ferdinand for the king that he is, save the hate for more deserving individuals. Finally, I just want to point out your attention to bookwormstory.social, an independent server that was set up in response to the recent Reddit blackout and has a growing community of bookworms who also share memes and chat about the latest prepubs, so do be sure to drop by and join. We have one more part to go, and I can't wait for more side stories. Who do you guys think they will feature? Personally, I still want some more royal point of view side stories. I want to see more of how they squirm, scramble, and panic in response to Rosamine. Is that too much to ask? Well, here's hoping. Let me know your thoughts about this part. I look forward to reading your comments. Until the next time, bye bye.